Hi guys, you're watching a workout vlog plus Q&A. If you have questions you'd like me to answer, get on my Facebook page, facebook.com/flexforall. And when you see me post one of these Q&A workout video vlogs, ask your questions right there in the comments of that post, and I will get to them. So today we will begin with, let's check this out. I'm looking at the questions. Fida wants to know, what's the most optimal training split for frequency if you're natural? In my opinion, if you're just starting off, let's get you on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout split, full body each entire session. You could be training the same exercises each Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout, or maybe have a slight variation. And basically they go something like this. Maybe the A workout, which you start on Monday, you just alternate, would be basically a squat, and then maybe a bench press, flat barbell, and then maybe a barbell row. After that, perhaps overhead press. After that, maybe a vertical pull of some sort. And then after that, maybe a bicep movement and a tricep movement of your choice. Bicep movement, perhaps either dumbbell curl or barbell curl. Perhaps you can alternate that. For the tricep movement, perhaps dips or skull crushers, and you could alternate that. And if you're feeling real frisky, maybe add another leg movement into the day. And then the next time you work out, you can choose alternatives for the different body part groups if you'd like. You don't have to, but definitely switch the leg movement from squat to perhaps deadlift and train the deadlift that day. And you could add a little more leg exercise, one or two more leg exercises if you like. So that was the A day. The B day would be something like pretty much the same thing, just deadlift, and then maybe flat bench press, some sort of row, some sort of overhead press, some sort of vertical pull, and then finishing it off with a bicep and a tricep movement. And that could be something you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you're constantly making strength jumps, increasing the weight if you're able to perform at a good level with the weight that you're using. Increasing the weight week by week, or perhaps every single workout, especially on the major movements like the squat, deadlift, bench. You'll be able to progress pretty quickly. On the smaller movements, it'll be a little bit slower progress. You could be hitting anywhere between 2, 3, 4, 5 sets per exercise, depending on how you feel. Sets of 3 to 4 to 5 should be good for pretty much everything. Maybe just one set, if you like, for the deadlift, so you aren't destroying yourself. Just one heavy new PR set of deadlift for 5 could probably do you good, considering your form's on point. And that's a workout split right there for a beginner who's natural, and I think that is a pretty damn good split for the most part. And basically everyone recommends that kind of split. Different variations, different exercises. You could add more exercises, you could do less exercises, but basically you're hitting everything 3 times a week. You're hitting major exercises multiple times a week, and you'll be seeing and gaining a lot of strength doing it that way. And lots of different names, there are lots of different variations. There are so many ebooks and products out there. YouTubers have their own routines and so on. None are really necessarily the best or the most original and so on. They're all just variations of pretty much the same exact thing. Next, what do you do for cardio, and how many times a week do you do it? Currently I'm not doing any cardio, though I should be doing one high intensity interval session per week. What happened was been just busy with stuff, and I've been matching up my schedule with Chris's. He hasn't been doing any cardio lately, so I haven't really been adding my cardio sessions, and although I should be having one high intensity per week under my protocol under Eric, but I haven't been doing that. So that's what my current cardio looks like, Tommy. Next question, and actually, alrighty. Earl's question is, how do you build strength, especially on the overhead press? You're going to build strength on, well, any exercise simply by practicing it, making sure the form is on point, and pushing yourself very, very hard. Don't always train to failure. In fact, for the most part, don't be aiming for failure, especially if you're going for strength here. If you're going for strength and, you know, focusing on increasing the weight that you are going to be using for your exercise, OHP for example, hitting failure on sets of 10 to 15 or 20 isn't the same thing as hitting failure when you're going for reps of, say, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. The damage to your CNS, like your recovery demands, are increased when you hit failure or you work out near towards failure in the lower rep ranges with heavier weights. It takes more out of you. So that's one thing. When you're aiming for strength, I'm assuming that's anywhere between 1 to 5 to 6 reps, 6-rep sets. When you're trying to build strength in the OHP, make sure you're not, you know, failing on, you're not going so damn hard or attempting failure reps. You know, if a set of 3 at 135 pounds looked good and it looks like you might have 1 rep max left in the tank, which stands for RPE 9 on the scale from 1 to 10, maybe leave it at that for that set and not go for that next rep that may or may not go up. You constantly should be focusing on increasing the weights that you're using, one way or another. There's lots of different ways. Say this week you do 135 pounds for 3 sets of 5. The next time you do the OHP, maybe you could, there's lots of different ways to do this, go for 135 pounds for sets of 6 now. And let's say you only do those first 2 sets of 6 reps. The last one only goes up 5 times. Okay, that's cool. You still are progressing in some sort of way. And like I said, there are so many different progression schemes out there. So many different schemes. You have different schemes such as working off of a training max. Say your training max is 100 pounds. And then on week 1, you go for 85% of training max for sets of 5 or whatever it might be. And then week 2, you're hitting 90% for a set or sets of 3. And then the last week, you're going for 95% of that 100-pound training max for a set or multiple sets of 1. And then what you can do is, in this progression scheme, which is the one in the 5-3-1 Jim Wendler program, you, after the month is up, you had a deload week, that 4th week, where you kind of took it easy, you can increase that training max down to up to 105 pounds. Or depending on the lift, if it's squat or deadlift, you can increase that training max to 110 pounds. And now you'll see that weeks 1 through 3, the weights will be slightly heavier based on increasing that training max. So you could do it by that. You could do it by training maxes. You could increase the weight just adding on to the weight that you're using. Just really focusing on those numbers and hitting numbers, and not just kind of YOLOing the workout without any sort of goals. So it's really about the goals. Obviously, the form is extremely important, probably the most important thing. If your form isn't on point on the overhead press, that can lead you towards perhaps getting an injury, increasing your risk for injury, not hitting the muscles correctly, or just setting yourself up for failure. So make sure your form is on point with the OHP. Lots of different good guides out there. I probably have a few videos of my own giving tips on the overhead press, Earl. So hope that helps you build your strength on your overhead press, bro. Any more questions, let me know. Here we go. Next question is from UN. He gets bloodshot in the eyes during dumbbell chest press. So UN wants to know about, he's been getting bloodshot in his eyes during dumbbell chest press, which is the first compound movement of his day, but other lifts don't give him bloodshot eyes. He wants to know, is it an exhaling or inhaling problem? Any serious side effects? He doesn't want to he doesn't want to pop his brain, he said. That's something to focus on. You know, the inhalation, the exhalation of your exercises when you're lifting. You want to make sure that you're getting air in and out, and that you're not holding your breath for too long at a time. If you're doing maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 reps, holding your breath isn't that bad. but higher than that, you don't want to be holding your reps, especially for those higher rep sets. You can find a good rhythm of breathing, and generally most people recommend exhaling on the positive portion of the lift, the pushing or the pulling, and then on the negative, where the weight is going back to the beginning point, generally most people recommend inhaling, getting some air in. So it could be that you're holding your breath or you're pressing against your air, if that makes sense, and you're really causing yourself to get bloodshot in your eyes during the chest press. Perhaps it could be that you're sitting flat, and a lot of other exercises you're upright for the most part. And perhaps exercises where you're laying flat or you're declined, a lot of the blood flows to your head. Maybe that's why you seem to get bloodshot during that exercise. I noticed some things of my own. Like, for example, guys, when I squat, like my face, like I breathe so intensely for whatever reason, especially on squats. Not even for deadlifts that much, but when I squat, my face gets really red. And like some of the blood vessels in my face seem to burst because like my face stays red afterwards. Kind of like popped veins or something. Anyways, any serious side effects? I can't really answer that question. You should do some research online to see if it may be an issue. Perhaps even talk to your doctor. Okay. Next up, it's about white sugars. We made an order like half a week ago, or maybe a full week ago, on all kinds of sugars, so we should be getting those pretty soon, hopefully. Ahmad wants me to answer his question. He says, why do you recommend push-pull setup over training 4 times a week for a natural? I've been doing this for like 3 years. I've been getting results, but I want to hear your opinion on this. I'm a little bit confused by the question. You got to be really specific when you ask me questions, guys, because I don't recommend a push-pull setup, because that says nothing about legs. I have never ever recommended anyone to just do upper body during the week. Never. So by default, that question is kind of setting I don't know how to answer the question now, because I have never recommended someone to not work out legs. But if what you mean is legs push pull setup, why do I recommend that? I don't recommend that for beginners. But I do recommend it for someone who enjoys or might enjoy doing it. I recommend any program for someone who might enjoy doing that program. Any program is going to be better than not going to the gym at all, if that makes sense. Any sort of like somewhat higher frequency structure for a natural, it's going to be better than staying home, on your couch all day long and not working out. And you can get results doing full body workouts 4 times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, or just 1 time a week. There's so many different ways to make progress on limitless programs out there. So that's something to consider. I don't know if I answered your question, Ahmad, so sorry about that. Brenda Morales asks, is bulking different for men and women? What's a good period of time a woman should bulk before cutting, and how should a woman bulk? There are certain things that are going to be different between men and women, just naturally. Men have more muscle. We have different hormones running through our body. Muscle will just grow faster, easier. Strength gains will generally be faster and easier for men than women. We're just predisposed to be that way. Women and men hold fat in different body parts. Men more so in the front, abs. Women, the legs and the hips. So yeah, bulking is different for men and women. Women will see the fat come on in different places compared to the men. But generally the body works in pretty much the same ways. And the other big factor is the amounts of food that men and women can eat is drastically different. It's a really big difference. If I had to tell you how many rice cakes the average guy can eat more than the average girl, it's like, wow, that's pretty significant. So, but in general, the way science works and the body loses fat, it's basically the same thing, Brenda. So a caloric deficit is a caloric deficit. Women don't necessarily have to eat certain foods to lose weight, just like men don't necessarily have to eat or avoid certain foods to lose weight or to gain weight. Doesn't matter. So the main focus, if you're trying to pack on some muscle, and especially if you don't want to pack on too much fat, put yourself into a caloric intake where you're just gaining, depending on your own goals and your own preferences, maybe just a quarter to half a pound a week. That may require you to constantly weigh yourself every day after you use the restroom. Just jot on a calendar how much weight you're gaining, and monitoring your caloric intake, maybe using MyFitnessPal or something. Aiming for, depending on how you want to go about it, perhaps just a pound or a gram per pound of body weight. Or if you happen to know your body fat percentage and therefore your lean body mass deducted off of your body weight, you can go for somewhere between 1.2, 1.25 to 1.3 or 1.4 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass, if you can get that number. That could be a good protein for you to shoot for. And if you have that lean body mass number still, or you can go for maybe 0.4, somewhere around there, grams of fat per pound of lean body mass. There's lots of different ways to go about this. You can calculate macros based off of freaking body weight, lean body mass, and so on, energy levels, and so on. But anyways, once you do find your caloric intake that keeps you gaining weight or maintaining weight, you can adjust it so easily just by increasing or decreasing carbs to put you at a level of weight and muscle gaining, weight gaining here, that you're comfortable with. And I really recommend something really gradual and slight. What's a good period of time a woman should bulk before cutting? That's definitely up to you. Maybe perhaps make a max weight goal for yourself. Like, say you look pretty damn good around 125 pounds. You really like that look. It's not like shredded lean or anything, but it's a look that is healthy for you. It feels good, it looks good, and it makes you feel great about yourself. So 125 pounds is where you like things. But you're on a bulk because you want to put on some muscle to look even better the next time you're at 125 pounds. Or just to get more muscle in general. You like lifting weights, whatever it may be. Make a max limit for yourself. Say you will only allow yourself to go up to 145 pounds or maybe 150 pounds, whatever it may be. Make some sort of top end weight limit for yourself that once you reach that point, you go on a mini cut, or you go on a caloric deficit, a fat loss time zone where you're going to be losing that weight back down to around 125 pounds again. That's a good way to go about things. For me, I'll probably keep gaining until, I don't know, I'm anywhere between 190 and 200 pounds, somewhere up in that range. Once I reach 190, 200 pounds, I'll probably cut and bring things back down to around 175 to 180 pounds. 175 to 180 pounds, that's really comfortable for me, where I feel like I look really good. You know, I'm not losing any strength. I look good, feel good, life is great. So like I said, you know, that's my comfort zone, 175 to 180. Once I get to 195-ish, I can bring things back down to my comfort zone. And that's really how long a bulk should be. However long you want it to be. Make that upper goal for yourself. And then once you hit that, slowly, assuming that you may not be hitting this goal, but you're aiming for this goal. That's the main thing. Just having these goals are better than not just trying to get as fat as possible, as quick as possible. So you're aiming towards just a quarter, half a pound of weight gain per week. Just really, really slight. And then when you're cutting, you could be cutting for maybe 0.5 to 1% body weight per week. Whatever caloric deficit and combination of caloric carb restriction, calorie restriction / cardio it requires to have you losing weight at the 0.5 to 1% pounds of body weight per week. That's a good range for you to be cutting at, Brenda. So I hope that I helped you. How to treat lagging biceps. Focus on maybe 1 or 2 exercises that you like doing, that you enjoy doing, that work. Barbell curls, for example, alternating dumbbell curls, for example. You go back and forth between those 2 exercises. Hit biceps twice a week, and make sure that you set up a progression scheme and you're utilizing that scheme to get stronger slowly over time. Your biceps will grow, Aaron. They will grow. Just 2 years from now, if you're curling more weight, for more volume, for example, your biceps will be bigger than what they are now. And also assuming that you're at a caloric surplus in order to feed and grow the muscle from now till then, you should be doing good. Okay, bro? Okay, well, this got a little bit longer than I expected. In the future, I most likely won't be answering every single question, but just for you guys, in this one, I'm making sure to answer every question that I found in the comments on my Facebook post of my previous vlog. So I'm going to go on and answer every damn question, but in the future, I'll probably just kind of pinpoint the ones that I want to answer specifically. So, moving on. Let's see. We have a question from a guy named Yasin. He's 15 years old, squatting 160 pounds for 6 reps. He's only able to go parallel with his squats. Can you give advice to help him squat ass to grass? You know, it also depends, bro, what kind of squats you're doing. For example, if you're doing low bar squats, you squatting ass to grass may not even be the best thing. Generally, ass to grass is better if you're doing some sort of mid to high, especially for the high bar squatters. So that could be one thing. But the thing that I do recommend is these 2 resources: Kelly Starrett, Mobility WOD, and Dan John. So Google this exactly: Dan John squat. You'll find a tutorial. It's very lengthy, but very, very, very good, and that should help you and help you teach others how to squat with good form and proper depth and so on. Tim wants to know. He's eating at a maintenance of calories, but a lot of his calories, he says, comes from fats. Will he have a fat stomach and look chubbier? Not necessarily. This isn't something that's just like, okay, if you eat at maintenance, you automatically have a fat stomach. We'll get fat automatically. You don't just magically get fat without being on a caloric surplus. So you will gain fat from a caloric surplus. You will not gain fat from not being in a caloric surplus. Last but not least, a question about the UK, England. Lewis wants to know when the flock, he says, I'm coming to jolly old England. Body Power 2014. I'll be over there in England with the Gymshark crew, Chris Lovato, all over again. It's going to be a lot, 10 times more fun than last time. It's going to be freaking awesome. So see me out in the UK, guys. Thank you for watching this vlog. Reaching the end of this now. And the rest of this video is just a little bit of family time, spending some time with the girlfriend, sister, and so on, and Chris. Shooting guns for the first time. So we had a lot of fun. It was a lot funner than I expected. A lot more fun than I expected. So I will be doing that again. I had a great time. Anyways, try it out for yourself if you've never done it before. Girlfriend's calling. I gotta go to her house and spend the night. Love you guys. Bye. Alright, moving on. Sorry for making this video so long, guys, but I just really want to help you guys by answering these questions. And I also have a ton of footage, so hopefully it ain't too boring, but I really want to help you guys. So Jude from, I'm guessing, the Philippines says, Mabuhay. Matt, quick question. How can I improve my triceps? He says that he's been stuck with his presses for 2 weeks now, but his deads, squats, and pulls are all gaining. Please respond. Shout out to the Philippines and all of my Filipino supporters, fans, and friends. I haven't been to the Philippines in a long time. And much love to you guys. You guys are huge supporters of mine. Now, one thing before I actually get to this question is look at how many times you may be pressing for these 2 weeks and your method of judging yourself and your strength. So, for example, if you, in these last 2 weeks, you say that you haven't gone anywhere with your pressing strength, I'm guessing your shoulder and your bench pressing, You may have only hit, bench press twice in that whole time. You may have only hit shoulder press twice in this whole time, and your strength on from one day to the next, 1 week to the next, can vary. You can have good days, you can have bad days, and based on your strength, your stress, your water intake, your food intake, how much sleep you got, injuries, kinks, bruises, this and that. There's so many different factors. Based on all these different factors, your strength can vary day to day. It can vary by a lot. Your 1 rep max for, say, deadlift or squat might vary on any given day. 20, 30, 40 pounds. Who knows? You're going for 500, but today it just ain't your day. And normally you might be able to hit 500, but today 480 might be your max. Or 470 maybe even. It's just that shitty of a day. So your strength can vary from day to day, and perhaps these days that you judged yourself were just bad days. But if legitimately your strength just hasn't gone up, you're attempting heavier weights or more reps, but it seems it just hasn't been going up, then there are solutions. And honestly, the main thing is just patience and working through things and trying again that 3rd week to either get 1 more rep of each set, or the first set, or the last set, or whatever, improving some sort of way in terms of volume with the reps and sets, or adding just the slightest bit of weight so that it's barely harder. Or it could be a form issue. Take these lifts that you're looking at, the bench press or maybe overhead press, shoulder press, whatever. Film yourself, put it online, ask for opinions, ask me for mine, maybe even, and make sure your lifting is on point. Like, for example, if your overhead press looks absolutely nothing like mine, and I have a pretty decent overhead press in terms of the form of straight up and down motion and so on, the lean, etc. If your overhead press looks absolutely nothing like mine, then you might be doing something wrong. Now, that doesn't go for everyone. Not everyone has perfect form, so just because some dude you look up to, your form doesn't look like his, may or may not be something to judge yourself off of. But for example, if your overhead press looks nothing like mine, then you might need to fix your overhead press. Although when it comes to things like deadlifts, squats, everyone has different leverages, so it's going to look different. Every lift is going to look slightly different for different people, especially with those lower body squat and deadlifts. But back to the question with your triceps. Like I said, make sure the form is on point. Look at videos online. Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming a Supple Leopard. There's many different guides, tutorials out there for exercises. Make sure your form is really good when you're hitting your dips, when you're hitting your close grip bench press, when you're hitting your regular bench press, when you're hitting your overhead press. Make sure it's on point. And also, are you at a caloric deficit or surplus? Because if you're at a deficit, it may be harder to hit those weights. And that's just something that comes along with being in a deficit compared to when you're at a surplus. So look at it like that. And there's no magic tricks here. So if you're looking for a magic trick or magic pill, I don't have any. How do you improve your triceps? By exercising them, by working them out, by lifting more weight your next session than you did this session, or more reps next session than you did this session. Creating a progressive scheme for upping the weights and or reps so that you're getting better, you're improving, you're becoming stronger. That's really it. Pick those exercises you like doing, and I'm assuming you're doing them, and just get stronger at them and give yourself time. Understand that your body can fluctuate in terms of strength. Some days you'll have good days, some days you'll have bad days, but making sure your form is on point, you're working out as hard as you can, not grinding yourself into and beyond failure, because that's what a lot of people do when it comes to lifting. They like, forcing reps with their best friend, having their best friend do curls while they do bench press. That's not the best way to gain strength. The best way to gain strength is with reps that you can handle. Utilizing the muscle building principles, you should be just fine, Jude. I wish you the best of luck. this may be the last question. From Kevin Fung. What are some of my tips to increase grip strength? And once again, I apologize for this video for being so long, guys. It's 30 minutes now. One sec. Grip strength. One thing off the bat I really like is not deadlifting with straps. Just to work my forearms, work my grip strength when I'm deadlifting. Another thing is when I'm doing lunges with my dumbbells, 90s, 100s, and so on, I like to just use my hands and not use straps for that. Also works my grip. And of course, curling, all the different sorts of curling is going to work your grip. And generally, if you're getting a good frequency with all these movements, you're deadlifting regularly, you're only using straps when you absolutely need them, you should be doing just fine with your grip. And if that's not enough, then there are those products that you can squeeze, and I actually have some of those. I have from the bottom to the top, I have all of those, and I don't even really use them. But that's what I recommend. First and foremost, deadlift without straps. That will really help your forearms and your grip. So, reach the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I helped.
I always hear people like, oh, I got you.
How's it feel?
Oh, it feels good.
Or you saw, I don't know, you don't wear a shirt that doesn't.
Yeah, but aim at the target.
And shoot. A hot graph goes down.
No, it's just a lot. So that was enough.
It's a lot of power.
Yeah.
You shot it yet? The assault rifle? Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Alright guys, girlfriend's second round on this specific gun. It's 9mm. Let's see how she does. She's pretty good.
Damn.
What?
Dude, I aimed for his head. Look at that.
Oh, that's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, on purpose.
Alright, let's see how much more you can do. Let's go. Keep going.
Look at that shot. That's like dead center. I'm impressed.
Another headshot?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even head? Oh, you just gave him one of those like the scariest moment of his life. Like he's so thankful right now. Like he's like, oh my god.
And then I killed him.
Oh, you got him another one.
Are you aiming for his head, Nana? Yes.
Oh, okay.
What?
I'll use this one.
Okay. Going for a headshot.
Is it ready?
Oh, nice.
Myron, these going so?
Mmm.
Hey, quit being a little bitch!
Ogus cake!